This is who I would vote for in the 2024 Heisman. This has been one of the best Heisman races of all time. We have a group of 5 running back going head to head against a corner / wide receiver from Colorado. And there's been a lot of emotion tied to this Heisman race. I want to take a moment to elaborate on why I would vote for this player. But let's set a baseline, the criteria for the Heisman. First off, the definition says it is the best player in college football. Whether you agree or disagree with previous decisions, that's what I'm basing my argument on, is it is the best player in college football, not the most valuable. That's for the NFL. It is the best player in college football. And I'm also baking in strength of schedule and strength of your opponents. You could tell me that's unfair to the group of 5 players. And truthfully, if you're upset at me for that, you should have been upset that Bailey Zappi didn't get any Heisman consideration in 2021 when he damn near threw for 6,000 yards and 61 touchdowns and 11 picks. But Tegan, they went 9-5. That's not like Boise State. I'm also not going to just reward a player for X wins, the same way I don't do it for quarterbacks. I will acknowledge that Ashton Jeanty is the driving force to get Boise State into the college football playoff. But I'm also not going to live in a hypothetical that if you swap the 2 main candidates between Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty, what those results could be. I'm also not going to say if Ashton Jeanty had this many more carries, he would have broken the record. If Travis Hunter played in this game, this is what his stats would look like. Because in the sport of football, you cannot just assume the positive. Who knows, maybe on one more carry, Ashton Jeanty got hurt or Trav got hurt. So only thing I'm accounting for is what has happened in 2024 in real life, not a hypothetical. And to me, I think Travis Hunter is the Heisman winner. And I want to elaborate when I say he is doing things that are one of one. It's not to say we've never seen a corner / wide receiver or a two-way player in general. It's the quality of the play on both sides of the coin. I'm sorry, if you try to tell me that Travis Hunter isn't a top 10 wide receiver and also a top 10 corner, you are being delusional. Having 92 receptions, 1,100 receiving yards, and 14 touchdowns for a normal wide receiver would be an incredible year. Adding on top of that 4 interceptions and a forced fumble makes it crazy. But I'm not going to sit here and elaborate on defense statistics to explain why Travis Hunter is a great corner. Deion Sanders himself said it in a press conference, but people disregarded it because he's talking about his own player and people just took it as propaganda for him to win the Heisman. Tackles do not matter for corners, especially knowing Colorado runs so much man coverage. If Travis Hunter had a bunch of tackles, that means he is not covering his guy well at all. It means his guy is getting open, they're throwing the ball to him, and Travis Hunter is having to make a tackle. And I promise you, it's not just about the popularity on why Travis Hunter is getting NFL draft hype for so many NFL teams. And it's not to drum up likes and to get jersey sales and all this, that, and the third. It's because Travis Hunter is one of the best players in the country. And when we talk about other two-way players, people bring up Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson does not come close to Travis Hunter as a wide receiver. If you want to say Charles Woodson is a better corner, the gap between them two at corner is not even close to the gap of them two at wide receiver. The only close comparison you can drum up is Champ Bailey, and Travis Hunter is comfortably better and playing at a higher level at the wide receiver position than Champ Bailey. And notice how I'm not trying to bash down on Ashton Jeanty. He is having an all-time year. I would round up and say he had 2,500 yards and 29 touchdowns, 30 all-purpose touchdowns is insane. But we can also be objective in who he has played, and when you're comparing between one all-time season to another, I fear that he just ran into Travis Hunter. It's just not enough. And the honest truth that I don't think a lot of people want to admit, if Travis Hunter was not in a Colorado uniform, they probably would not care as much. Because people continuously drum up excuse after excuse to not acknowledge the fact that not only Travis Hunter probably should win the award, but are at least eye to eye with Ashton Jeanty. A lot of these Jeanty fans say it's Jeanty and it's not even close. It's just a popularity contest on why Travis Hunter is getting any kind of hype, and that snaps aren't a real stat. Which, by the way, the reason why we don't talk about snaps with other players is because we haven't had to track them before because of what Travis Hunter is doing. And sure, Boise State won the Mountain West. They're in the college football playoff. Colorado didn't make the Big 12 championship game. And I'm not going to sit here if the inverse happened that I would have credited Travis Hunter for getting to the Big 12 championship and getting to the college football playoff. Because like I said at the beginning, I'm not going to credit those wins to just one player. And to be honest, if you want Ashton Jeanty to win the Heisman, I won't even argue with you. Like I said, these are 2 all-time seasons. I am going to lean towards the guy that plays a Big 12 schedule and is having a one-of-one year. And to the point about the Big 12 and the Mountain West, let's not kid ourselves. I get it. The transfer portal has quote-unquote even the odds between the 2 conferences. And the Big 12 is the 4th best conference in that tier. But the gap between that tier and the group of 5 is a gap. Sure, it's not the Big 10 and the SEC, but NFL draft analysts will tell you that the gap between the Big 12 and the Mountain West on a preparation standpoint and the level of talent from a week-to-week basis is much more difficult than what Boise State was doing. And you could point to the Oregon game. That's a great point for Ashton Jeanty in an incredible year that he went head-to-head with the #1 team in the nation and damn near pulled off the upset with having an incredible game. Problem is, you can't base that as your argument on, oh, well, I mean, they competed in this one game. They would be able to wipe the Big 12. It's one game compared to the course of an entire season. There is a major difference between the two. And so that's why people bring it up in terms of, well, the Big 12 is more competitively balanced and a higher level of quality of competition compared to the Mountain West. It's like a sky is blue, grass is green type of statement. I think that covers all the bases on some of these arguments because I'm just trying to debunk mainly the myths that people are pushing against Travis Hunter. If you want to say Ashton Jeanty is your Heisman, fine. I think I should have a pretty clear argument on why Travis Hunter is your 2024 Heisman because some of the excuses that people are drumming up to push an agenda against it, it's dumb. They're basically plot holes in a movie. It's easy to point out. But with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time in this video. Like I put a lot of passion into this video, mainly because college football is passionate across the board. And so if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'm fully open to debate with you guys. And I got a big video in the pipeline ready to go. I should be able to get that out next week. But in the meantime, I wanted y'all to have one video, especially with the Heisman coming up next week. We got the college football playoff. So once again, thank you guys so much. And I will see you next time.